between void creates a new paradigm of agrarian urbanism on a planetary scale, to bring back the ecological diversity of food. The urbanization activities in the Anthropocene epoch have exerted a huge force on the changes in the planet's environment. Phosphorus, as an indispensable element of the biochemical cycle, is an important presence of DNA, permeating the entire living system on a planetary scale. Not only is phosphorus in every cell of humankind, it's critical to the growth of crops and livestock that feed us. We are all dependent on it. However, the phosphorus cycle is a one-way cycle and it is finite. It is worth mentioning that 80% of the world's phosphorus is used in fertilizers. Due to the unrestricted use of phosphate fertilizers, some countries produce a large amount of phosphorus accumulation in the soil. This accumulation eventually caused a serious pollution problem on a global scale, which is the dead zone. So what can we do? We can participate in the phosphorus cycle through food and gradually change this dilemma. From a theoretical point of view, the planetary urbanization theory proposed by Neil Brenner provides an alternative perspective to rethink food and urbanization. With the development of urbanization, the operational landscapes have long played essential roles in supporting the expansion of agglomerations. The food-producing landscape is the one with the largest area, which is the first thing we need to consider. Actually, we're running out of land for producing food. This landscape has put a tremendous impact on the biodiversity of the planet. Crop distribution around Paris has a strong singleness and lack biodiversity in agriculture, which leads to a very unbalanced distribution of phosphorus. Also, low-income people and migrants are concentrated in the outer districts of Greater Paris. However, the food supply is mainly targeted at the central area of Greater Paris. This contradiction has led to an uneven distribution of food. So, how can we intervene planetary urbanization with food in a new paradigm, to balance food distribution and bring back ecological diversity? The project aims to reuse abandoned infrastructure, increase access to fresh food for low-income people, and bring food diversity back to the city. In order to bring back the biodiversity of food, social media provides the opportunity to collect people's preference data related to food culture. Extract the key information of the dishes and get the ingredient percentage. Food culture trends are used to determine the proportion of various crops grown in the project. By analyzing the sunlight data, we select the area with the best sunlight as the test field. The food trend data obtained from social media is used to guide the generation of pixel public farms. Different crops are evenly distributed in pixels, according to the required growth conditions. Combined with social food culture data, different programs are distributed spatially. The food data can be used to provide guidelines for different regions, depending on when and where they are collected. Since it is difficult to find extra space in Paris, La Petite Ceinture as an abandoned railway in Paris has a great opportunity to bring back biological diversity. Every built environment contains a spatial order, which determines relationships of proximity and adjacency between different programs. 2 data sets are selected to compare spatial order and determine the site. 8 representative blocks are selected to analyze the functional mix around the railway. In comparison, Block 1 is selected as a site for the project. Mark it as a significant place for food, and the city is also the place where the phosphorus consumed a lot. Comparing the pixel list, the difference of spatial order between them can be quantified. The project tries to balance the density of phosphorus with needed functional pixels. Referring to the simulation of pedestrian trajectory, the popularity of surrounding functions can be preliminarily estimated. The NDVI index shows there is less green coverage around a site, and the solar exposure is insufficient. Using open data to explore the possibilities of connectivity between urban blocks. And this is used to determine the circulation of each layer. The volume of each layer is affected by the circulation path and solar indicators. The evolutionary algorithm optimizes the overall volume, and the farm area meets the population supply-demand. To improve the overall light exposure of the project and create more void space, the solid floors are converted into pixels for a more detailed design. And finally, the void space and solid floors reach a balance. In the design of the unit, the public farm unit adopts a structure that can be flexibly assembled to facilitate the expansion of the function. The facade of the greenhouse unit is mainly made of glass, to ensure that the crops receive adequate light. The vertical farm units are more enclosed, and the design of the louver on the facade helps to regulate the light better. The eating unit is combined with the shelf structure to better integrate with other functional units. Each planting pixel stores corresponding data for systematic management, such as position coordinates, light index, phosphorus, crop type. Phosphorus can be recycled in this project through the water circulation system. In the future, the planting modules will be inserted into other plots around the railway, gradually balancing Parisian food distribution and restoring ecological diversity in a circular form.